Tonight we are doing the baby in the cradle. It's December 24th, God in the Manger. Tonight's reading. At that time in Rome, let's try that again. Today's reading. At that time, the Roman Emperor Augustus decreed that a census should be taken throughout the Roman Empire. This was the first census taken when Quirinius was governor of Syria. All returned to their ancestral towns to register for this census, and because Joseph was a descendant of King David, he had to go to Bethlehem in Judea, David's ancient home. He traveled there from the village of Nazareth in Galilee. He took with him Mary, his fiancée, who was now obviously pregnant. And while they were there, the time came for her baby to be born. She gave birth to her first child, a son. She wrapped him snugly in strips of cloth and laid him in a manger, because there was no lodging available for them. Luke 2:1-7. The time came quiet. All the glory had been left in heaven, and the grace of God turns one last time in the waters of the womb, and the membranes break, and the amniotic fluids leak, and the skin of God slips naked and small and holy into hands that he made. This birth of God, who can find words? This defies words. This birth of God, this incites war. This night, under the cover of darkness, behind the velvet curtain of silent stars, the agonies of redemption bear down loud. This night, in the depth of the heights, as the book of Revelation tells it, and we have a revelation of all hell breaking loose and racing God to get under our skin. After an all-out cosmic war spinning across space, of the king of forces of good driving a daring raid right into the flank of the beast, who is a crimson gash tearing the waiting sky. The nativity of this night is a brutality of heaven and earth. In the heavenlies, according to the nativity of Revelation, the child breaches, the beast lunges, and our eyes flash away, too terrified to witness evil devouring holiness and our one last hope. All of earth holds its desperate, wild breath, and then, at the last possible moment, all of this impossible, the infant is seized and thrust into the throne. The child lives. Rescue is certain, and all of hell makes one last lunge, clashes desperate to the dark horde of evil wrestling Michael and the heavenly host, and then it's over. Satan falls like lightning from heaven, falls out of the sky in a heap. And now over Bethlehem, in the Nativity, according to Luke, the star hangs high, victorious on a silent night, a holy night. Now all is calm. God comes. God comes quiet. This night, a battle has been waged and won for you. Love had to come back for you. Love had to get to you. Love that has been coming for you since the beginning. He slays dragons for you. This is the truest love story of history, and it's his story, and it's for you. All the other fairy tale love stories only echo your yearning for the truest, realest one. This is the one that has its beginnings before the beginning of time. This night, you on this visited planet, your rescuer is here. You can breathe. Your God extends now on straw. He lays himself down in your mire. He unfolds himself in the stretch you want to hide, in the mess that is your impossible, in the mucked straw you don't want anyone to know. Rejected at the end, holy God comes into small to where you feel rejected and small. God is with you now. Wherever you are, in a soundless cry or hidden brokenness or in ache, God always wants to be with you. You are not ever left alone in this. We are never left alone in this. God is with us. This is love you can't comprehend. You can only feel and touch this kind. There, in the place where you feel rejected, you can be touched by God. There, in the places you feel small, you can touch God. He came in the flesh. Come kneel close. Let the warm breath of heaven fall on you. God waits to be held. God waits for you to draw close. Grace is weightless. God comes as a babe because grace is weightless. On a chilled night under stars, there is no grand mass of people whose efforts pry the stars into place. In an obscure caved barn down some back street of Bethlehem, there is no great host of whose good works unlatch heaven and impress God into coming. Tonight, at the foot of the cradle of Christ, like at the foot of the cross of Christ, there are no big people, no powerful, no proud. Tonight, there are only those who tramp to the manger with nothing. There are only the manger tramps, the men who lay down all the self-made, the women who lay down all the self-sufficiency, the children who lay down all the wants. We, the manger tramps, who kneel where thrones tremble and demons fall, and the self-made crumble and the self-righteous weep. Tonight, there are only manger tramps, who tramp in with all of our poverty of spirit, so there can be an abundance of God. And the bulk of all your worn shreds slip off the weariness of your back. You have tried to polish enough for him with these rags. You have tried to patch together so much for him. You have tried to produce too much for him with these rags. And you, we, who are the manger tramps, see it tonight, that he's written in red on all of our filthy rags, but I did it for love. All of conquered heaven and grateful earth echo and throb tonight with the heart cry of the God child. I did it for love. When can all the manger tramps do, or what can all the manger tramps do, but wrap the vulnerable God in strips of our bare, broken hearts so that he can lodge in the intimacy of us? The greatest gift laid into our empty hands. Grace is weightless. Even the winning stars singing it over the manger tramps tonight. Unwrapping more of his love in the world. Put on your shoes and go for a walk today. Sing a Christmas carol out loud. Go into all the world and tell one person about the greatest gift and how he loves. Today's quote is from St. Augustine. It says, "Christmas is fast approaching, and now that Christ has aroused our seasonal expectations, he'll soon fulfill them all." A moment of reflection questions. What do you need to lay down so that your hands will be open to receive God's gift? How does it change Christmas for you, knowing that Jesus did it for love? Take a moment to kneel close at the manger, thanking God for his abundance. And that's it for our Christmas Eve reading. We have another reading tomorrow for Christmas Day, and then that's it. So we'll see you tomorrow for Christmas. As always, keep your focus on Jesus.